prediction is a core aspect of how we think the brain works. So one dominant perspective on brain function more generally is that the brain is continually trying to make a prediction of what's going to happen next. And those predictions include our own behavior. So for instance, in the case of action correction, one elegant way of thinking about what's happening there, what's happening at the level of the unconscious correction of our actions, is that the brain makes a prediction about what should happen. The fact that when I step on the escalator, my posture should remain upright. And it then online monitors whether that is actually happening. And so it can gradually adjust the amount of correction it needs to apply to make sure that those predictions are fulfilled. So that's the case of error correction. And there's lots of elegant experiments that support that view, the idea that the brain is using what's known as a forward model. So it's trying to predict what's going to happen and then applying corrections if that doesn't happen. And in the case of tracking uncertainty, again, prediction is a core component of that, because the reason you need to track uncertainty in a predictive model is that you need to balance the influence of your predictions against the data that's coming in. So in the case of the way that we perceive the outside world, we don't just perceive what's coming into the senses. The brain is actively constructing a model of what's out there in the world. And it's trying to blend the data that's coming in with those predictions to come up with the most accurate model of the world. And we can see that process happening in real time, if you like, by watching how we respond to illusions, to perceptual illusions. So one illusion I describe in the book is known as the light from above illusion. And if you see a series of shadows on the page, you can either perceive those as being raised bumps coming out of the page or depressions going into the page. And the way you perceive them depends on where the light source is falling. And the idea is that we've evolved to have a strong prior that light will fall from above because the sun is in the sky. And so light tends to fall from above. So we interpret the shadows in light of that prior, and that shapes how we perceive the incoming data. And the way that shaping is done is dependent on uncertainty. So if we're very uncertain about that prior belief, then it will have less impact on our percept, on what we see. Whereas if we're very certain about it, then it should have more impact on it.